A bunch of folks. Well, good afternoon. Thanks for coming. Thank you so very, very much. I appreciate you coming to participate in this message that is ours. Not mine, but ours. So this evening, between you and I, we are going to process the information that we need to process today. Because it is evident that something must have gone wrong. We find ourselves sick. Why should we be sick? So tonight, we hope that I would be to you as you have been to me this evening. You came. You came to listen. And you don't want to come to a place where somebody's going to talk a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't make sense. Because I'm the boy that didn't go to school, see? And when you are an individual that didn't go to school, you don't like to listen to too much of anything if it doesn't make sense. That's automatic. School children, well, they could listen to philosophy all day long, and they enjoy it. Not for someone like me. I didn't go to school. In fact, I don't know how I made it. But when I came to America, you made me. You made me. I came to New Orleans. We're going to fast forward it. In 1954, a merchant seaman. I love New Orleans. I love Louisiana. I love the people. I couldn't speak English quite well, but that was okay. You all teach me. You all taught me everything I know. I used to hobnob with the musicians, like Harry Nance. Yeah, Boudreaux, John Coltrane. Oh yeah, I knew Train. So I became a merchant seaman, and then I got tired of that. There was always something on the horizon that I was going after. There was always something on the horizon. Now, here's a boy that didn't go to school, and he's going to think about doing something. Now, what could he bargain for? The boy didn't go to school. And it is said that you need to go to school to be able to participate on the level that would complement people on any subject. You need to go to school. Well, I didn't. And I didn't because my grandfather did that. My grandfather told my grandmother, don't send him to school. And I was the happiest boy in town. I was always by the river. I like to play then, I like to play now. I'm never serious. There's nothing I need to be serious about. I had a brother who was serious, though. He was a preacher for 30 years. He died 25 years ago. But he was serious. Always serious. And he used to get angry at me because I smoked marijuana. Well, I did. And it wasn't because I wanted to, but I loved the stuff. You see, I was born with asthma. And my grandmother somebody told my grandmother that if they give me marijuana, that it would ease the wheezing. And it did. So I smoked marijuana then. I'm 81 years old now. I still smoke marijuana. But it helped me. So this evening is not about me. It's about us. Yes, sir. The boy that didn't go to school left Louisiana in 1964, and he's to meet a man that did something to his life that nobody on this planet has ever done for anyone, then and now. His name, Alfredo Cortez, a Mexican. You see, I had asthma, and I had diabetes. I was impotent. I was obese. I was angry. Very, very angry. They put me off on the ship in Russia. The doctor didn't heal me. They put me off on the ship in England. Nobody healed me. They put me up in North Africa, Casablanca. And one day, a brother from New Orleans, Ronald Evans, called me here in Los Angeles and said, "Hey, I met a Mexican that healed everything." I said, "You're crazy. A wet back?" He said, "Yeah, you better think again." And I went to Mexico, and I met the man. The man looked at me and asked, "Where are you from?" I said, "I'm from Honduras." See, I was born in Central America, Honduras. "Where you from?" I said, "I'm from Honduras." He said, "Man, I can't help you." I said, "Why?" "Because black people doesn't come from Honduras. That's Maya, that's Paya, that's Lenca." "Where you from?" I said, "Oh, I'm from Africa." He said, "Now we could talk." Now we could talk. As an African, you have a beginning. Not as a Negro, not as an Afro-American. You have no beginning but slavery. But as an African, your beginning is before slavery.
Yes, sir.
So now, young man, what is the food of the African? I said, rice, beans, chicken, yam. He said, "Hey, stop it. Stop it. That's not African. That's European. A chicken was made in Europe, in Holland. Carrots were made in Holland. Rice was made in Holland. But did we know that? No. We didn't know that. I didn't know it. So I like my rice, my beans, my chicken, my ham. Ham hocks. I live in Louisiana. My collard greens and ham hocks. Navy beans even. Black eyed peas. I didn't eat the chili because it was a little bit too strong for me. But I like the southern food. My cornbread, yeah, my potluck, of course. But then I'm 30. I can't make love to a woman because my penis was getting hard. My diabetes is up to 300-400. I'm angry. And a Mexican gonna come and ask me and tell me things that our anthropologists today have not really conveyed that message to us. Our historians today doesn't know about these things. How did a Mexican know about it? Yeah, the Mexican. The one that you and I least suspect to offer something that could be valuable.
Yes.
A Mexican. Yeah, a Mexican. Did you know that a Mexican are the only people on earth that eats a natural food as a staple? Nobody else. Nobody in Africa, nobody in Arabia, nobody in Europe are Mexican. But you're not going to give a Mexican any credit because he's a wetback. He knows nothing. You're going to give it to a guru, to a shaman, to a rabbi, not a Mexican, but a Mexican is so grounded that he took your brother, Sebi, and healed him. And now, that Mexican prepared me for you. You see? You see the connection? Suppose the Mexican was prejudiced. It wouldn't have happened, right? No. It's about love. That's what we come into. The subject today is about love. And when I talk about love, I'm not talking about love on that superficial level that we all resonate with. No, it goes deep, 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 deep. In fact, I don't know if I really know about it as much as I should. I don't know. But there was a woman in this city and in my life. In fact, my life is surrounded by what woman did to me. That's right. They prepared me, you, the woman. So one night, we are in Mrs. Watkins' house. Her name is Miss Lily Watkins. Her son is in the audience. Name is Mel. We are talking revolutionary things. Politics and revolution. Miss Watkins opened the door and said, "You guys are crazy. You guys haven't added love to the equation." Love? And she slammed the door. It took us 30 years to assimilate that. Love. Love for yourself. Because you are number one. There's nobody better than you. And if they are, who is that person? And how could that person be better than you when you have only the same one thumbprint? Your thumbprint is not like anybody's else. So I grew up with that kind of giving in my house. The boy is listening to things that I'm not hearing today. First of all, when I was 7, I was prepared by my mother, my grandmother. I said, "Hey, grandmother, I want a birthday present." She said, "No stuff." Who came out of who? You came out your mother or your mother came out of you? I said, "I came out my mother." She said, "Well, I think you better buy the present for her. You got no present." So I walking away, she called me back. She said, "Come on back here, Fred. You need no duck. I want a duck that you wind up to put in the water. You don't need a duck. You don't need anything. And if the day comes that you don't have any money to buy any clothes, you walk around the way God made you without no clothes. You need no one, you need nothing." I said, wow, why do I have to hear this? But that must have registered in my brain. Because the boy didn't go to school. But I grew up, and people would ask my grandmother, "What is he going to do? What's he going to do? What's he going to do? Fred, what you going to do? Fred, what you going to do?" And I'm sick of hearing this, "What you going to do?" Nobody have control as to what's going to happen to you. Nobody have that control. Only life. Only God Almighty. Yes, sir. So the boy came to New Orleans and came to LA, got killed by the Mexican, got a job with the county. Mel again. Mel and I have been friends since 1964. Mel knew me, he's an audience. He knew me when I didn't know anything then, and I know very little now. But he knew me when I didn't know anything about healing. And him and I always talk about it. And some of the things that we share is that, kind of funny, he said, that you were able to show the Supreme Court of New York that you cure AIDS, sickle cell, and blindness, and how come no one has ever done anything about it? he said, it's kind of funny that time is what decides, not you. And that's the truth. Mel is my friend before I became a messenger of healing, because I am not the healer. Yes, I have cured AIDS and sickle cell and blindness, but I'm not the healer. The healer is a woman, because she's a nurturer. And healing requires that. But I come with a message for you. All right? I said it in 1962 in Louisiana, on Claiborne Avenue in a barbershop. So I'm working for the county as an engineer, and they're amazed because they saw on my resume that I've never been to school, but I passed the test. Piece of cake. I said to one of my co-workers, I said, Gregory, I'm going to quit this job. He said, man, you out of your mind. You out of your mind. This is the best job you ever had, making all this money. You're going to quit it for what? I'm going to heal every disease in the world. He said, you're crazy. I said, maybe so, but that's what I'm seeing. Because the Mexican had healed me. So the Mexican is showing me that healing is possible. And boy, I started getting these herbs, reading about them, and I would go to work. I live in Compton. I pay a little house on 143rd Street. And I met many people. I used to go by Mr. Ligon bookstore, you know, on Santa Barbara. It was then Santa Barbara and Budlong. I used to hobnob with Ron Karinga. I hobnob with Stokely Carmichael. I hobnob with a whole bunch of folks. But I was not interested in revolution. I wasn't interested in politics. And I wasn't interested in spirituality. Uh-oh. What do you mean? Spirituality? Well, no. And we're going to get to that. I was interested in these herbs. And I begin to compound them while I'm working. And I begin to learn about these herbs. And what I learned was this. And today, as I'm speaking to you, do you know that what I'm about to say is still practiced? You know what I found out? Tell me if I'm not telling the truth, that people use aloe vera for healing. Am I right? And they use comfrey. And they use peppermint. And they use golden seal. And they use ginseng. Do you know that these plants are made in laboratories? And I didn't know that. How am I to find that out? A freak of nature. Because I'm an engineer, I am required to test the waters in the boilers every hour for the pH. The pH of the water has to be 6.9, slightly on the acid side. Because if the water is 7 or 7.1, that's life. That's alkalinity. Oh yeah, we're going to get to that too. So while working as an engineer, I could tell what is acid. Just put acid in the left. And put alkali on the right. Because it boils down to that. It boils down to acidity, alkalinity. Alkalinity is what God made, what nature made. Alkalinity is electrical, is alive. All the plants that are alkali are alive. Like what you thought about, Dr. Sebi? Well, a burdock plant, you could take it out of the ground and it's alive even when it goes back and it rots. Not so for aloe vera. It's dead. And it's acid. I learned that because I had the privilege to take the pH value of the substance. So I began to select from the forest the herbs that have a pH more than 7. Less than 7 is acid. And I began to put this stuff together. And guess who was my first patient? It frightened the hell out of me. I'm washing dishes, see? It was a morning, a Monday morning, I'm washing dishes. And I had my little girl, Usha, on the counter. And a man came in front of my kitchen window. Young man? I said, yes, sir. I heard that you've been experimenting with herbs. He said, yes. Well, I'm blind. I'm blind for 10, 11 years. Could you help me? I said, I'll try. If you make me see, I give you $1 million. I gave the man the substance. When am I going to see? I said, by Friday. Now, why did I select Friday until this day? I don't know. But I was so sure of myself. But how could a boy that didn't go to school be so sure of himself? So, the man went home with the medicine. And the Wednesday, good morning, young man. I raised my right hand. He said, you raise your right hand. I winked my left eye. He said, you wink your left eye. I said, the man is seeing. At that point of my journey, I couldn't explain that. I know it's a bunch of herbs that cleanse the man's body, but they were all alkali plants. And this is where now comes into picture something that is most important. Remember what I did? I selected alkali plants, right? Not the acid ones. But why would someone make acid plants? This is where the other part of the story gets good. And it begins with a naked black woman in the jungles of Africa. This naked black woman was always in my eyes. I could never get her out of my eyes. When everybody was talking about Socrates and Plato, I was looking at this naked black woman. And everybody went to Egypt. Well, I'm looking at this naked black woman again. But I can't put her into any perspective. And one day it came. It was early in the morning. I just came out of a sleep. I dreamt that I would listen to John Coltrane play music, but it was the television that I had on channel 850 that was influencing my brain with the music of John Coltrane. That does occur. Even with radio, when you put it on and leave it on, you dream that you're looking at the artist. So, in the dream, the woman appeared again from behind this tree. Still couldn't understand how am I going to put this woman in a perspective. So, but I was coming to Los Angeles that morning, and I had to go to the airport, and the governor of the city, of the state, is at the airport telling folks how I had cured a little girl of leukemia named Alcida. But there are two missionaries. They are Caucasian. They came to me and said, we heard about your miracle cures. I said, I don't know what a miracle is. What do you mean? The governor said you cure leukemia. I said, that's not a miracle. Why not a miracle? I said, I'm a black man. Nothing is a miracle. Because we reduce everything to the least common denominator. What do you mean miracle? To you it is, not to me. He said, have you been saved? Saved? From what? I mean, he said, have I been saved? Now, why would he ask me that question? He said, from your sins, of course. I said, oh, God. I said, you know, man, I looked at you guys, and I saw two very intelligent people standing there. But now I got to question that. He said, why? Because the color of my skin should have prevented you from asking me and telling me that I'm sinful. And what does the color of your skin have to do with it? Ah, say, young man, the color of my skin had to do with everything. He said, how? I said, well, I'm the son of a naked woman in the jungles of Africa. She didn't have any alcohol. She didn't have any prostitution. She didn't have any supermarkets. She didn't have any hospitals. She didn't have any doctors. She didn't have any medicine. She didn't have any disease. The woman didn't have any church. She didn't have any religion because she wasn't sinful. My mama didn't even have money. And you call me sinful? And I am her son? Come on, behave yourself. Behave yourself. I am the son of a sinless woman, and I become sinful? Fine. When? When did I become sinful? You see, living in that state of sinfulness, you reduce yourself. No, you don't do that. You're not sinful. You were never sinful. And if you were, God has played a game on us. God does make sinful people. So what occurs? What occurs? Well, we're going to soon see. The black woman in the jungle didn't eat rice, beans, chicken, hogs, goats, lamb. But what did she eat? And why is that important? It is. Because she walked around without no clothes. Between her brothers, and nobody was jumping on her. And now you wear clothes, and they take them off of you and rape you. So she lived in an ethical environment. She lived in a moral environment. So we got to take another look. We got to take another look at her. Because that's her mama. And it is said in your Bible, honor thy mother and thy father, that thy days may be long upon the land. No stuff. Well, my mom and daddy didn't eat no rice and beans and no hog maws. And they didn't go to church because it wasn't sinful. You understand? Sinful people need to go to church to repent. Well, I'm not sinful. So now the boy had grown up, and look what he's seeing. That naked woman in the jungle raised the bar and set the standards. And from her, understanding her and her world that was alkali, I was able to draw from that world the compound that we make today that heal people. Scientists call that phosphates, carbonates, iodides, and bromides. That's science. Science also says that AIDS, diabetes, sickle cell anemia are all the result of a virus, a germ, or a bacteria. Not so. Not so. Ladies and gentlemen, the black man, the Chinese, the Indian, the Eskimo, the white man, we all are different. Not one is better than the other. We all are different. If you take your blood and put it on a microscope or go to a hematologist, he will tell you it's different. Oh yeah? Well, if my blood is different, then my compounds or medicine should be different, right? But they gave everybody the same thing. What a mistake. But we didn't see it. Not only that, we eat the same food. That doesn't happen in the naturalness of life. Gorillas doesn't eat polar bear food. So the scientists call food that nourishes the body phosphates, carbonates, iodides, and bromides. Mama in the jungle didn't have to know that, because all she had was that. There was no man-made food then. So she lived in a beautiful environment. This is why she didn't wear any clothes. It wasn't necessary. She lived like that all her life until the foreigners came. Ah, she's naked. She's naked. God made clothes then. You see? You see how sick we are? We all are sick. We need each other. So it was with that intent that I came into this particular vocation. I quit my job. I said, I'm going to heal the world. I'm going to make everybody happy. I was wrong again. The president of Dominica sent for me, and I went, and it was nice. And then he lost the election, and the next president is a woman, and she kicked me out. I said, why would she kick me out? And I healed a man while I was there of diabetes, and I healed another one of gout, and I healed another one of a whole bunch of stuff. And they kicked me out. I went to St. Croix. Well, I stayed there 2 years, and I went to Puerto Rico. Then I went to Miami. While I'm in Miami now, I'm beginning to expand. That was when I put the ad in the paper that I cure AIDS. And everybody thought that I did the wrong thing. Even friends of mine. We want to elaborate on this for a second. The fact is, each and every one of you in this audience is different unlike the other. Who qualifies to tell you anything? Nobody. Nobody on earth qualifies to tell you anything about you. Nobody. You are unique. How could he tell you about you when you don't even know you? How does he know you? My mama said to me, put the ad in the paper that you cured the diseases. I said, but I'm going to go to jail. She said, yes. See, my mom were, still is, and always will be the greatest guide in my life. Mama. My mama said, put the ad in the paper. 2 years later, I was arrested. Practicing medicine without a license. Selling product not approved by the FDA. Claiming to cure AIDS and other diseases, which is a fraudulent claim. While they're putting the handcuffs on me, I asked the detective, why do you have your guns drawn? He said, the element of surprise. I said, my mama told me you were coming 2 years ago. Enough for your surprise. But we're going to cut it short. We want to show how cruel a people could be to another people. One of the things that we black people find ourselves faced with is a black body speaking English and thinking Greek. I no longer think the way my mama used to think. And why is that important? Because I want to heal myself. I'm sick now. I'm stressed. I'm very stressed. All of us are. We come back to the subject. I'm in front of the courts now. This is where black thinking and white philosophy is going to clash. You see, right now, all we have is white thinking. Socrates, Plato, Diogenes, Mary had a little lamb. Jack of the Beanstalk. That's all Caucasian. That's not me. It's not me. So the judge said, Dr. Sebi, why do you give everybody the same medicine? I said, because there's only one disease. One disease, the doctor said. I told you this man is unscientific and he's insane. I said, Dr. Victor Herbert is right again. I am unscientific. I repeat, there's only one disease. But to stand up, a boy that never been to school, stand up in the Supreme Court of New York and make such a statement, that's nothing to play with. You got to have something to substantiate, to support what you're doing and what you're saying. But as a black man, I give credit to America. I give them a lot of credit. I give credit to the Japanese and the Chinese. And I give credit to the Indian people from India. Why? Because these people tried to heal us, but they failed. They never had the answer. We had the answer all the time, but we didn't know it. Because we were told that you're a Negro and that your history began in slavery. So therefore, I begin to feel like, wow, I am that. When I'm not that. Never been, never were, never will be that. Your Honor, there's only one disease. I repeat. The judge said, what is the one disease? I said, you already knows it. She said, try me. When someone has sinusitis, what obstructs the nasal passage? She said, mucus. And in bronchitis, what obstructs the bronchial tube? She said, mucus. In pneumonia, what covers the lungs? She said, mucus. Dr. Victor Herbert said, and AIDS, you and your one disease theory? I said, I believe in no theory. I don't believe in theories. I don't even believe in believe. Either I know or I don't know. I don't live in the world of belief. That's dangerous because it's uncertainty. Your Honor, there's only one disease. And where is the mucus with AIDS, Dr. Sebi? It's in the skin, the blood, and the lymphatic system, which makes up the immunological system. The skin, the blood, and the lymphatic system makes up the immunological system. That's why you have AIDS. I know. I got diagnostic sheets that prove that. Big thing. No. It isn't virus. But we, the black race, we had to believe what the European says. The European says it's virus. So we have to agree with him because our scholars, they were engaging in metaphysics, they engaged in history, they engaged in politics, they engaged in a whole bunch of science that doesn't really connect the dots and help us now. All that study was for naught, because right now we're sick and we need something to come and help us. That is where the African bio-mineral balance comes into the play. Dr. Victor Herbert said, the African bio-something balance? I said, yes. I've never heard of such a thing. I said, he's right again. He's right. But you have not heard of a whole lot of other things. And we have to remind him of that. And that the African biomineral balance only happened to be one of those things that he doesn't know about. The judge said, well, what is the African biomineral balance? Oh, Your Honor, it gives me much pleasure. The African biomineral balance is a therapeutical approach to pathology that addresses disease on two levels. One, an intracellular cleansing, an intracellular chelation. We have to clean the cells of what? Of the toxins that has been accumulated and brought the disease in the first place. We have to clean the toxins out. It's as simple as that. And second, we have to build the body back up with what? With energy that is natural from the natural plants. One of the main players is iron. It is impossible for you to get sick if your iron level is up to par. Everybody that's sick is anemic. I was talking to a young man on the phone today. Cherie came from New York to visit me, and her friend is sick. He's from Haiti. And I'm talking to him, and he's telling me about his condition. So I said to him, I said, young man, did someone tell you in the past that you were anemic? I'm anemic now, he said. I knew he had to be. If you have a simple cold, if you have any disease, I don't care what disease you have, you're anemic. Because if your iron was up to par, like I said, you would not be sick. Impossible. But when have we have iron in our diet? Don't tell me you got it in beets, because beets is a hybrid plant. Beets were made in Holland also. It's a laboratory product. Beet has inorganic lead. You see, we're growing, right? We're growing. But they have a lot of diversions that they put in front of us. And one of them is taking a toll on us right now. And a group of women in New York hated me because I made a statement, and they came to me and said, you know, if you weren't the way you are, I would like to be your woman, but you're not spiritual. I said, but I don't know what that is. I heard talk about it. People mention it. They say they are, but I don't know what it is. I don't know. Spiritual, I don't know what that means, but I know what this one means. When you're cosmically connected, meaning that you're going to obey the laws of life. Yes, and because you are obeying that law, that natural law, your body would recuperate again, and it will keep you without distress. But if, and I see you eat these ham hocks, and this cabbage, and these potatoes, well, I'd rather not be spiritual, because these things hurt the body, and spiritual people eat those things. Where did we get that? But then we believe that when we use the word spiritual, that it brings us to another level of life that is free of stress, and that I'm free now of all that which is painful. Not so. You just trap yourself. Because look at what all spiritual people eat. They eat a food that denies their biology. You see, when God or nature made things and placed things around the world, He'll place a food. When the Mexican asks me, what is the food of the black man? With our anthropologists today, and all of us have them in the community, J.A. Rogers, Chancellor Williams, Sheikh Diop, look, that Mexican puts them aside and heal your brother that now is healing diseases that no one else is in healing. It started with a Mexican, because an understanding that came from the organic world. And that is what that Mexican told me. He said, you and I are members of the organic family. What do you mean by that, Alfredo? He said, we didn't produce waste. The organic family is the black man, the Inca, the Toltec, the American Indians. They make up the organic family. There were no waste. Now, you have these trucks, right? Waste management. But that is the society that we live in today, a wasteful society. So now, how does Dr. Sebi cure these diseases? He selects from the forest the plants that are going to resonate with you and bring you to a higher level than that of spirituality. It's going to connect you with life. And now you're not going to make the mistake that you may have made in the spiritual vernacular. Because when I go to spiritual people's houses and I watch what they be eating, I don't want to be that. So we're going to take it to a higher level, right? Of course we do. Because we are in pain. We are in pain. But I want to say something before I forget. Day before yesterday, a group of women came from Houston, Texas. Are you in the audience? Or we've been tripping on you guys. Why I'm saying that about these three ladies. Mel again, Mel Watkins, the brother that know me since before and after now. I said, Mel, there are some sisters, people came to interview me for a magazine. Come on with me, just go meet them. But one of them was coughing, and I gave her the compounds. And the other ladies told her, your complexion changed, and you stopped coughing. How do you feel? How do you feel? You feel good? Well, I want you to give a testimony, because we gave you some tonic though. Did you all went to sleep early that night? I know you didn't. Because see, I worked with a young man named Pablo Medina. Pablo Medina is a Mexican. He belongs to a tribe known as the Huichol. These people are very humble. They're very humble. They're beautiful people. I was going through Mexico, and I encountered an herbalist that was bare feet. Oh my God, I got slippers on, and I don't like to talk with not even slippers. This man is bare feet, selling herbs. I said, what is that herb? He said, that's Damiana. I said, may I buy 2 kilos? He said, no. I said, the plate says California. And the best Damiana come from California. I'm not. That's a Mexican for you. Humble this man were. That is the thing that we have to bring out of each other. You understand? It is necessary. That's the love that we need to generate. We need love. Like Mrs. Lily Watkins said, I need you. I'm not better than you. I'm not wiser than you. Everything I know, I got it from you. I got it from you. I got the same components of these young brothers. I'm not more than them. They know stuff I don't know. I'm 81 and they may be in their 20s, so what? I'm lucky to be alive. All my brothers are dead because they didn't listen. My brother, the preacher, I came home at Christmas Eve and he have a big hog head on his table. So what you gonna do with this dead animal's head? I'm gonna eat this thing, and you did once. I said, I did once eat it, yes, because Mama didn't know any better. But don't you eat this. This is not the food of the African. The African doesn't eat that, neither did the Indian. That's not our food. It's clear, isn't it? Of course it is. It's very clear. So yes, so when you go abroad and you tell folks, when I met Dr. Sebi, I heard him say he cure AIDS. How do you cure AIDS? He removed the mucus from the system and built the body back up. But they say, what? It's virus. No, never been. It's mucus. I'm happy to know that from one of us, myself, being your product, I'm a product of a Mexican and a black race. For both of you. But that's good. All we have to do is behave ourselves and do the right thing, right? That's all. So, in closing, we want to remember that as there are food for a gorilla, it's not the same for the polar bear. The eagle is a bird, but the quetzal is a bird. They don't eat the same food. One eats meat, one doesn't. Right? So we're going to begin to learn to select the food that corresponds with us. Because we need that. Because you're smart. It's just that we didn't have the message. We never had this message. I was lucky. I met my healer at 30 in Mexico. You think I'm not proud of him? Of course. The man was 94 years of age, and I'm 30. He got 2 wives. I can't even have one. I couldn't even have one. I was impotent. But he knew how to live. He knew that money was not the deciding factor in life. It was the quality of life that you live. And to live that life, you have to understand gene, food, consistency. Yeah. Don't put in your mouth any starch. Starches are dangerous because they turn into carbonic acid. So now, before you leave, it would be good to leave your name and your address because we want to create a family where we share information that you will have to make life a little bit more tolerable. Me, I like living. I like playing. I got a little girl, 3 years old, and I got a little boy, 3.5 months old. I got a son just born to me 3.5 months ago. I got a little girl, she's 3. That's Taiwa. She doesn't know her daddy's 81. She comes to my bed and says, hey, Papi, just go play. I tell you what, Papi just came back. Come on. She don't want to hear that mess. So at 81, I still got to change diapers. And somebody's going to soon change mine. Because I'm 81, you know. How much longer do you have? But I'm glad that I met this black woman in the jungles of Africa. The one that everybody thinks is so savage. But she was proud. She didn't cost her husband any money because she wore no clothes. and nobody was walking around looking at vaginas. But if you take your clothes off now, every brother in this room going to be, wow! That's what they did to us. Once upon a time, it was natural. Now, not so. Not so. So it's about love, like Miss Lily Watkins said. It's about love, okay? And that love starts with you. And I remember when I wasn't in love with me, because I was so sick. I used to cry every day. Right here in Los Angeles. I used to go home and cry. Cry way in the hours of the night. Go to sleep crying. Now, the nigga's happy. He's happy. I'm stupid. I got a daughter 19 years old. Her name is Sama. Sama said, hey, Daddy, how did you get away with this? Because you're really dumb. She said, you're stupid. You do stupid things. And she's right. But I indulge in my insanity, and I like it. Because it doesn't restrict me into this world that is so false. I could be me, I could laugh, I could cry. So what? I told a sister one day how much I like her, but nigga, I don't like you. Okay? I don't like you. I started crying. I had to cry because I like Enid. I love Enid because I'm sensitive. I'm a Sagittarius. You know how we Sagittarius are. We fall in love. But a woman should never marry a Sag. He's not the marriage type. So yes, I enjoyed you. I love you very much. And I have delivered a message for you that is going to help you. And we want to further help you some more by coming together. We put together the Bolingo group. Bolingo. B-O-L-I-N-G-O. Bolingo means love. Yeah. Bolingo came out of the language of Linasa. Linasa come out of the Congo. Bolingo means love. So we put together the Bolingo Health Club, which is a $200 million project. That's right. We're going to build centers of health throughout the United States. We're going to invest in hemp in Africa. And incidentally, I just met a beautiful young man from Ghana. His name is Charles. He said he's into agriculture. I say, have you ever considered hemp? He said, it's funny you asked me that, because that's exactly what I want to cultivate. Hemp milk, hemp shoes, hemp clothes, hemp prevent land erosion. We could do anything, we could do everything to make our body healthy again. Together we could do it. Together. So the Bolingo Health Club is asking that you join, and we are going to give you 20% off of everything you buy when you join. We're going to take this money, we're targeting 1 million members to do these projects to show that we could take care of what we need to take care of. We should stop depending on the healthcare system. Yeah. Because they don't have the components. Cherie told me to mention that. Cherie with me, she came from New York, beautiful sister. She said, you know, you should tell them that it would be good if we stop depending on the health system. We could develop our own, and we could provide ourselves with the compounds that really addresses our cellular structure. Because there's no reason why Miss Emma Wright no longer has sickle cell. There's no reason why Tom Mark don't have AIDS anymore. And yet they continue to say that there is no cure. You know who's to be blamed for that? Not the white man that's saying it. We. Because your brother Sebi is doing that. Don't support me. You will support the entity, because I'm supporting the entity. You're not supporting me when you support it. We need to do that. It is ours. It's beautiful because it removes stress. It takes away the pain. You know, it's a beautiful thing. You were a good audience.
Thank you.
And I want you all to know something. That when I came up here talking, I didn't know what I'm going to talk about, because when I came and saw you, the speech I had in my head, I threw that out. I always do that. But it was good that we traveled. I can't put too much information because it becomes diffused, just little. But we understand that disease is only one, and that we need to eat alkali food. And as you come to the center, you're going to be the recipient now of some new medicine that Pablo put together. And they were, these three sisters from Houston, they were lucky, because when we poured it in the cup to give them, they didn't know that we had chest compounder that day, Friday. They didn't know that. I drink it with Mel, and me and Mel talked to them from 11 o'clock till about 3 or 4. We continued to talk until 11 o'clock that night. And I know you all didn't go to sleep. Couldn't. So yes, you're going to get the best compound I've ever made in my life. And I love you. And thank you very much.